What if I can't do it? I'm just like,
Hi, good evening, Hector. If you will come in and have a seat.
thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Erica Coy, and I'm a student with Grand Canyon University. And I'm actually a student counselor, so you'll be working with me today. But I need to go over the consent form first, okay? So if you don't mind, I'll just go over this really briefly.
Okay.
I consent to the video, audio recording being made of the counseling session and to these recordings being used to aid in the growth of counseling knowledge and skills. That means for my growth and for my skills. This is for my knowledge. I consent to the excerpts from the recordings and descriptions of them being used by the Grand Canyon University faculty and staff for the purposes of supervision, research, and or teaching. I understand that any part of a conversation that is recorded or written down will be kept confidential. Additionally, throughout the video recording process, the camera will be only face the counseling intern, which is myself, so you will not be on the video being recorded during any portion of the recorded session. I will not disclose any information that may identify you in the counseling session recordings, and we are using an alias today. I understand that Zoom will be used to record counseling sessions and that Zoom meets both HIPAA and FERPA confidentiality standards. I understand that the video audio recordings will be kept for a period of 3 months. After that allotted time has passed, the recordings will be deleted by the Grand Canyon University counseling intern. I understand that if the recordings of the counseling session activates any suicidal ideation or any potential harmful thoughts, I will reach out to a professional in my area immediately. Neither Grand Canyon University or the college nor the counseling student will be held accountable if I harm myself. So just kind of look over that very briefly, but do you have any questions?
No, not at this time.
Okay, if you don't mind just signing that, please, sir. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so what brings you in today?
Because of my injuries, I had these two bad injuries and they're permanent damage, and I grew up in the construction business, and I'm not able to come, do my job. I feel like a failure. I've been offered to go to rehabilitation, but I don't know what to do at this point.
Okay. Are you drinking at all?
Yes. A good bit.
Okay. Are you doing anything else during the day? I mean, how's your days going?
No, more or less I drink and watch TV and sit around and not do a whole lot of everything. Most of the time I'm depressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see by your intake form here that you are married. How is that going with the drinking and the watching TV and the injuries?
Well, I feel like a failure. My wife, she looks at me a different way when she comes in the house because she has to work.
Okay.
And I can't provide for my family like I used to, so I feel like a failure.
Okay, I've noticed that you've used the word failure a lot. So just trying to get an idea of, obviously you're depressed and you're angry and you're not able to work. This is what I'm hearing. And you obviously have said failure many, many times. So what's bringing that? Is all of that bringing the failure on? Is there anything specific? I mean, is it?
Just like, I can't move around like I used to go to work. So, yeah, I can't even hardly do nothing. Sit around, and that depressing me, so I had to drink.
Okay. And when you say you can't do anything, is there anything that you can do during the day by chance?
I'm not sure.
Okay. That's okay. You know what? Today, we're not getting all the answers today. We're just kind of going over where you're at, getting an idea of, who you are and what we can do here. I noticed that you said that you've been drinking a lot. So I'm going to do, it's an alcohol use disorder identification test. We kind of call it audit. And just kind of give an idea of what you're drinking, how often. It'll give me a good idea of where we need to start, okay? So how often do you have a drink containing alcohol? So would you say 2 to 4 times a month, 2 to 3 times a week, or 4 or more times a week?
You say every day?
I can put that on there, absolutely. So we're going to say 4 or more times a week for now.
Okay.
How many drinks containing alcohol do you typically have in a day when you're drinking? So this is our daily part. So 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6, 7 to 9, or is it 10 or more?
10 or more.
Okay. Every day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I want you to know this is a no judgment zone. So I'm just here to get the information so I can help you help yourself and help your family and help you get where you want to be. Okay.
Thank you.
So how often do you have 6 or more drinks on one occasion? So we have here less than monthly, monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily. So 6 or more drinks on an occasion.
Probably daily.
Okay. How often during the last, let's say, year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you started drinking? So you're sitting at the house, you're watching TV. Have you been able to say, okay, I want to try and stop drinking today?
I've thought about it some.
Okay, and have you been able to do that at all, or do you just keep drinking?
I say I'm going to do it, but I never do it.
Okay. And how often during the last year have you failed to do what normally is expected of you because of your drinking? Not your injuries, because you're injured, but your drinking is now prohibiting you from doing certain things. Maybe it's with your family, spending time with them, playing games, playing cards, talking to your wife, things that you can do that your injury has nothing to do with. How often would you say that the drinking has kind of prohibited you from doing that? Would you say that's less than monthly, weekly, or almost daily?
Like weekly.
Okay. How often during the last year have you needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy drinking session? Less than monthly, weekly, or daily, or almost daily?
Daily.
Okay. How often during the last year have you had a feeling of guilt or remorse about your drinking? Less than monthly, weekly, daily, or almost daily?
Daily.
Okay. How often during the last year have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because of your drinking? Less than monthly, weekly, or almost daily? So the night before, you don't remember what happened?
About weekly.
Okay. And have you or someone else been injured because of your drinking? Yes, but not in the last year, or yes, during the last year, or not at all?
Not at all.
Okay. Has a relative, friend, or doctor, or any other healthcare worker been concerned about your drinking or suggested you cut down? Yes, but not in the last year. Yes, during the last year, or no, not at all?
Yes, during the last year.
Okay. All right. So just on a base cursory looking at this, we can obviously, and you're here for a reason, so we can see that you have a problem with drinking. It seems to me that it's kind of been onset from your current disability. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I know right now you're not able to work, and this seems like you're having some issues with your family. How are your kids doing with all of this? Are they concerned about you? Are they not concerned about you?
They almost like wrote me off or whatnot. You know, so.
And from what I remember on your intake form, your family, your siblings and your parents, they're not able to get to, come over. And you had said before that, when they do come over, that you feel shame and you don't want to be around anybody.
That's correct. I avoid, inviting them over and doing things because of my condition and drinking.
Okay. And before, were you really active in the family?
Well, just normal as everybody else.
Okay. What's normal as everybody else?
Once a month, twice a month.
Yeah, because everybody's normal is different.
Mhm.
So, okay, twice a month is a lot. Okay.
Mhm.
Alrighty. What do you want to do going forward? You're here, you're like, I want to get help. So, what do you, and you're working with pain management on one end, but you're drinking at the same time, which is kind of prohibiting you from doing other things. So, what do you want to get out of today? Not just today's sessions, but working with me. So, what are some goals that you can come up with that we can work on?
That maybe I can get a job and stop drinking so much.
Okay. Now, I know right now you're doing construction. So, or you were doing construction. You're not really able to do construction right now. So,
Mhm.
I know you want to get a job. Is there anything that you can kind of look at and start researching on your own? Like next session, come up with.
Yeah, I've been looking. I've
Okay.
been looking, researching stuff I can do. That, where I can maybe sit down most of the time.
Okay, have you come up with? I mean, let me know. Just kind of
Like a parts distributor, at a dealership, parts manager and stuff like that.
Well, I think that's really good, by the way.
Mhm.
All right. So you want to get a job. You want to quit drinking, or do you want to cut back drinking? What's your goal there?
Well, I say cut back, but she probably says quit.
All right. She says quit, and he says cut back. So let's start with cut back, and then maybe quit altogether at some point.
Amen.
All right. All right. So right now you're drinking 10 or more daily. So can we start writing a journal down? Writing a drinking journal, a TV journal. You're watching a lot of TV, and start on some goals. If I only want to, let's say, drink, I'm gonna cut it in half, 5 beers, and you come up with that number for you. I'm just using this as an example. I only want to watch 2 hours of TV and spend 2 hours looking for a job, whether it's at a parts center or a Home Depot. Something that you can do that's not construction, and something that you can work on your disability recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe do a goal of something that you want to do with your family. I know this is a strain on you and your wife and your family. So is that something we can do? You do your homework, come back next week, and then I can look and see what kind of homework you've done. So the first thing you want to do is set some goals. Let's do some SMART goals, which is something very specific, measurable. So this many drinks, it's time-based. So, during a daytime period, or by, let's say, 6 months, then I can have 1 drink a day, or I can have a part-time job working 15 hours a day. So just something that we can get measurable, good, solid results. And then maybe bring your wife in so I can get to talk to her as well. Is that something we can work on?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, Hector, thank you for your time. Our time's kind of up right now, but I wanted to thank you. I look forward to seeing you next week. And I'll probably email you some journal thoughts out and some affirmations during the week, and make sure that you're still on track, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.